Hello YouTube, and welcome to my first ever video game series. First of all, I would like to apologise in advance if I do make mistakes or screw up in this video. I am new to this, so please bear with me, but today I will be trying out the new F1 2020 game, and more specifically, the MyTeam game mode. For those who don't know, MyTeam is a brand new game mode introduced to this year's F1 game. It's very similar to the existing career mode, but with a slight twist in the sense that you will be able to create your own team and try to work your way up from the back of the grid to eventually competing for the championship with the likes of Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull. So without further ado, let's crack on and see how this game actually looks. As we wait for the loading screens to complete and the game to fully start up, there is one thing that I would like to address first. So for many non-F1 fans, you might be sat there thinking, oh, this looks like the same game as last year, what is so different about it? Well, in reality, whilst it does aesthetically look the same, the gameplay is vastly different, and you won't actually realise until you play the game and go out on track yourself. But enough talking about the overall game, I'm here to discuss about MyTeam itself. Now, I've been watching a few Twitch streamers who've already started their version of MyTeam, and one of the ideas that I really liked was the whole concept of reviving an F1 team and then bringing it back onto the grid. I am looking to do the same, and while there are obvious choices such as reviving classic teams such as Jordan, Jaguar, Lotus, or even kickstarting a brand such as Aston Martin, I've decided to revive another team, Super Aguri. That is, the same Super Aguri that was recently branded as potentially the worst F1 team ever and only managed to score 4 points in its entire existence as a Formula 1 team. And even better, they're probably more famous for these kind of heroics. So surely it can't get any worse than what I've just shown. Well, we are about to find out, so let's get to it and let's start a new MyTeam save with Super Aguri. In anticipation of making this video, I've already pre-made some of the content required to add Super Aguri into the game. That includes the race suit, the badge, and also the race car livery itself.
Okay boss, Carl here. Let's get this team up and running. The first thing we need to do is register a team name and bring in some important partners. First, enter a team name.
Now we already know that the team name is going to be Super Aguri, so we can just skip through this one quickly and proceed to the next step.
Now, let's choose our primary sponsor for this season. Some sponsors offer a larger signing bonus up front. Some offer more weekly income. The better we perform, the more our level will go up as the team gains more acclaim. Doing this will increase the income from our sponsors.
This is where the game starts to become interesting because you now have to consider team budgets. As a brand new constructor, the primary sponsor will provide the initial funding in order to hit the ground running, so it's important to choose the right sponsor. If I go through this list of sponsors, what you'll notice is that the signing bonus increases. However, with greater money comes greater expectations, and as a brand new team, I want to choose a sponsor which has a realistic objective but also reasonable bonuses and weekly income. So with all of that being said, let's lock in TriStar and move on to the power unit.
Won't be going anywhere fast without a power unit, so let's sign one of those now. Obviously, the better the performance and durability, the better, but be careful about spending all our cash. We're going to have people and facilities to invest in as well. Power unit suppliers will also provide upgrades throughout the season at no extra cost.
So as you can see, there are 4 power units to choose from, with Ferrari being the best and most expensive. I do believe that this will change and will be patched and nerfed later on, given that the Ferrari power unit looks to be the worst on the grid at the moment. That being said, Super Aguri is a Japanese team, it has historic links to Honda, so this makes it the obvious choice, so I'm going to lock this one in.
We're not much of a team without a second driver. Let's sign a teammate. Here are the drivers interested in joining our team. Look at their stats and pick someone you think can get us good results, as long as we can afford them. Oh, and we renew contracts every few races, so you'll have plenty of chances to sign someone else should the need arise.
If you follow Formula 2, then you might recognise a lot of the names that are displaying on the screen right now. However, putting the Super Aguri hat on, we want to adopt the original team's philosophy of endorsing Japanese motorsport. In their debut season, Super Aguri did try to start with an all-Japanese lineup of Takuma Sato and Yuji Ide, which was rather short-lived because, let's be honest, the Japanese talent pipeline for F1 wasn't exactly the best. We are going to try and continue this approach, so realistically there are only two driver options that we can choose from: Giuliano Alesi, who is half Japanese, or Nobuharu Matsushita, a driver who has been endorsed by Honda throughout his entire career. It makes sense that he will be the driver of choice for this game mode.
Let's select or edit the livery we'll be running this season. We can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
As I previously mentioned, the livery was already pre-made prior to this video, so that we're just going to select it.
Now we need a badge for our team branding. Select an existing badge, edit it, or create one from scratch.
Likewise, I have already created a badge based on the original. I did have to add an A with a thunderbolt for some reason, as it's part of the template.
Last but not least, we need to pick team colours for the rest of our branding. You'll see these colours throughout HQ.
I'm just going to speed this up and just copy the livery colours and proceed.
Great, that's everything we need. You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start of each season. But if you're ready to go, hit advance to head to Team HQ, and we can start our push to the top of Formula 1.
And there you have it. Here is Super Aguri's entry for the upcoming F1 2020 season. I'm now going to fast forward it to the first cutscene of the season, where you're in Australia and Will Buxton is interviewing you about the new team entry. One thing to note, however: for every question you answer, there is a direct consequence to the team's overall development, so be sure that you respond with the right choice.
Okay, we're live in 5, 4, 3.
Hello folks, and welcome to the HQ of Formula One's newest team. We've been invited backstage to gain an exclusive insight into what could be one of the most exciting entries in the sport for many years. Now, we've seen a number of new teams enter the sport over the last decade, amongst their number Manor, Caterham, HRT and of course Haas. And while some have proved to be successful, others have morphed into different teams and some have disappeared completely. What marks this team out, though, as being something different is that its owner is also its driver. Now, there's a rich history of that in Formula 1 too. Sir Jack Brabham, John Surtees, Graham Hill and Bruce McLaren all drove their own cars in the sport, but it has become increasingly rare in recent years. What's very special about this team, though, is that while the team itself is new to Formula 1, so too is its driver and owner.
Whatever happens this season, you've already made the history books. Tell me, do you feel up to the mammoth task of both managing and driving for a Formula 1 team? Every team needs two drivers, but what was it that drew you to your teammates? No one aims to finish bottom of the table. Who's the team you're aiming to beat?
Let's try to aim to beat two of the existing F1 teams and challenge the Alfa Romeo here.
How are you expecting the car to feel out on track? The other teams now have years of experience, both on and off the track. How are you planning to catch up to them? Overtaking is a key part of this sport. How have you ensured that your car can take advantage of each opportunity that comes your way? And finally, which of your new departments are you most proud of?
Well, that's about all we've got time for here. We will see how this fledgling team fares in its first Grand Prix.
Okay, great, thank you. That's a wrap.
And that's also going to conclude my video here too. I'm going to end on a cutscene from the car launch, but other than that, if you have enjoyed this video and would like to continue following my journey in reviving Super Aguri, then please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next episode at the Australian Grand Prix.